I have a wife and kids that depend on me, and I want to be safe, make sure that I get home at the end of the day.
I work safe because I want to go home to my family at the end of the day, and I want everybody else to go home to their families at the end of the day.
If I'm safe, I keep everybody around me safe. So our number one goal and priority here at Apache is for everybody to go home every night.
My coworker's life is just as much in my hands as mine is in his.
I feel safe at Apache due to the fact that my coworkers look out for me, I look out for them.
I had to stop a job on one occasion. Nothing major, but it was just something that felt that the guys would probably be able to do it a certain way, a little bit safer.
I've used stop work authority before when I've seen a potential hazard.
The guys were appreciative that we did stop it, talked about it, and we moved on.
My coworkers were fine with it. My coworkers agreed that the stop work process should have been implemented.
We do a lot of repetitive things every day.
You can't let yourself become complacent. You have to remember what you're doing, and you have to remember the hazards that are there, and you have to respect the hazards.
As far as what battery I check, switch it up, start a different route, go a different way, just to change things up so I don't stay in that repetitive motion and get complacent.
If you're following the rules, the regulations, the policies, zero can be possible.
Outside of work, my coworkers and I have, it's like a family bond that that carries over into our work relationships.
Zero is the goal just because it's not just a number, it's not a award, it's the fact that it's real people. And you know, these people have families, and they have people that are depending on them, they're counting on them, and you know, we got to get each other home.
Zero is the goal, really. I mean, because anything else is unacceptable.
My family likes where I work at due to the fact that I get to come home and see them every day.
Every day when I leave the house, you know, I tell my wife I love her and I'll see her later, and you know, when I go to work, I do plan on coming home.
Thank you for being part of this very important day. I'd like to share a presentation and a few videos with you that will help explain what Aim for Zero is, why it's important to Apache, and what it means for each of us going forward. There are many important messages from today's presentation, but one fundamental message is that Aim for Zero is not optional. It is essential to help Apache achieve the results we need, not only in safety and environment, but production as well. What we do with safety helps to define and reinforce the quality of company we are. Let's take a moment to review the agenda for the day and discuss our expectations. In a few minutes, we will hear from John Christmann about why this is a defining moment for Apache and Aim for Zero. We will review why zero is important and how we will achieve it. That will be followed by a message from John Graham, who will provide an overview of Aim for Zero. The majority of the rest of the time together today will be spent drilling down into what we each can do to make zero possible. While we break down the zero, we will pause this presentation to allow for discussion amongst the small groups in the room today. And after the discussion, we will end the presentation with a message from John Williams on stopping work and introducing the concept of personal safety cards. There is a great amount we will share about Aim for Zero, but we expect and need your participation. This is about empowering you and making sure you have what you need to be safe and environmentally responsible. Many other companies have zero programs, but the reality is that some are more effective than others. Many of the programs are just that. They're programs. So what makes ours different? At Apache, ours is not a program. Ours is about our culture and how we work as individuals and as a group. Simply put, it's how we get things done around here. Our focus is called Aim for Zero. Aim for Zero is about empowering you, really empowering you, to do the right and safe and environmentally responsible thing each and every time. Aim for Zero will not change over time. Rather, it will help to define us. Zero is and always will be our goal. And it is one that can be achieved by taking each task and completing it safely, one by one. There is no more important task than making sure you return home safe each and every night. At the heart of it, Aim for Zero is about empowering the individual Apache employee to make better safety decisions and feel supported to speak out whenever unnecessary risks are posed. As we all know, safety doesn't happen by accident. It is earned by operators who take deliberate steps to prepare for unsafe scenarios and by empowering employees to take ownership of their own safety. This is embraced and driven by the leaders of our company, who not only expect more from us regarding safety in the environment, but who believe we are uniquely able to deliver on the goal of zero. Let's take a moment to hear a message from John Christmann, President and CEO of Apache Corporation.
Hi, I'm John Christmann. Operational and personal safety are two of the key pillars of how Apache does business. We are constantly striving to achieve balance in all that we do. This is known as the Apache Way. There are daily decisions that we all must make to create the safest work environment. This requires you to make decisions, some of which may be difficult to ensure your safety and the safety for those around you. We talk at great length about embracing the and. This speaks to our commitment to achieve our production goals and our safety goals and our environmental goals. Success means we must excel in multiple areas. Your choices, actions, and decisions are the answer for yourself, your coworkers, and most of all, your loved ones. There are serious consequences in our line of work. A lapse in focus, a distraction, or a poor decision can have catastrophic consequences, even when completing the most basic task. This is why we count on you to make the right decisions. It's why we empower you to share your ideas. You make the difference. The only way Apache can be the safest and most environmentally responsible operator is through your actions. We must work smarter and safer. There are many people inside and outside Apache who depend on us. This is why Aim for Zero is so important. It's not just another HSSE program. It's not just another zero initiative. It is the foundation of our culture and commitment to each other. Aim for Zero is about empowering you to do the right, the safe, and environmentally responsible thing every time. It is a belief that we are safe and that zero is not only possible, but the only acceptable outcome. Zero must and will be the number for Apache, and we will achieve it by completing each task, one by one, safely and environmentally responsibly. As you watch this video and work through the introduction of Aim for Zero, please do so with an open mind. We have each been conditioned to believe that how we complete certain tasks is the only way to do it. I ask you to be open to thinking about how we can do our jobs more safely. Specifically, how can you improve and how can you help others around you improve? As you think about how to get better, think about how to get safer, more environmentally responsible, and how to aim for zero in all that you do. Thank you for your commitment to Apache and for making our workplace the safest and most environmentally responsible in the industry.
As John Christmann shared, we can and must achieve our goals. They're not optional. Before we take a deeper look at Aim for Zero, it's important to understand the context in which Aim for Zero fits into Apache's overall HSSE efforts. Aim for Zero sits at the top of the pyramid. Aim for Zero clearly states our expectations and empowers each Apache to do the right thing. Aim for Zero helps to frame the mindset of the workforce around a culture of safety and environmental responsibility. The center of the pyramid focuses on the culture and behavioral expectations. These are the ways we work that are unique to Apache, and by doing them, they help to keep us safe. This section reinforces that it's what we do that matters. Finally, the bottom of the pyramid defines our work rules. These are a series of rules that are not negotiable at any time. They are fundamental to how we get work done right and safely. They are expectations of the workforce as a whole. You see, we recognize that each of you on the front lines are the ones who keep us safe. Your actions, your stop work authority, Your decisions keep you safe and us safe. We are simply introducing a framework so we not only know where we're going with Aim for Zero, but how we will get there with our behavioral expectations and work rules. In the coming weeks and months, there will be separate presentations on each of these areas and what is required of each of us. Again, safety is not optional. There are clear expectations and ramifications when they are not followed, as you learn about the Apache work rules. At the end of the day, each of these are designed to help us, to ensure we go home safely at night, each night. Let's dig deeper into Aim for Zero. It's an acronym that stands for Apache Improvement Methods for Zero Incidents, Empowered Employees, Responsibility for Yourself and Others, and Operational Excellence. Many longtime Apaches will recognize the similarity between Aim for Zero and Aim Up. They are similar in the improvements we expect, but Aim for Zero is about empowering you to make the right decision, no matter the situation. More than just an HSSE program with a goal of zero incidents and accidents, Aim for Zero is a way of working and empowering our workforce to do the right thing even when no one is watching. As a company, we are committed to operational excellence. You will hear more about this over time. It's how we look at our business and balance each of the critical areas that define our ultimate success. In all, there are 7 key areas that drive our operational excellence: aligned workforce, optimized operations, cost efficiency, adapting to change, asset integrity, safe workplace, and environmental responsibility. As you can see, Aim for Zero, our cultural behavior, and the Apache work rules each serve as a critical component of our ongoing efforts to achieve operational excellence as it relates to the core operational areas of safe workplace and environmental responsibility. When we talk about what makes Apache different, in many respects it comes down to operational excellence. It's our people, each of you, our commitment, our way of working, and our willingness to embrace the and. This means that we as Apaches understand that we can achieve the highest levels of safety and compliance and environmental responsibility and still achieve our production goals. Embrace the and is an important concept that we must understand and believe in. Whether you have played golf before or not, the message is clear. No matter how close we are, there are no gimmies, especially as they relate to being safe and environmentally responsible. We can take nothing for granted. We must focus on each task, one by one. Our success will continue to be earned by our actions in this area. Let's take a moment and hear a message from John Graham, Vice President, HSSE.
We are and always have been a company driven by production, and therefore we are each clear on the expectations in each of our regions about what is required with production. But as John Christmann shared, Apache is also absolute in its commitment to safety and environmental responsibility. And the reason is because of you. We have a responsibility to those who have entrusted their careers to Apache to ensure we do everything humanly possible to not only protect them, but to ensure the safest and environmentally responsible work environment. And that driving belief is at the core of Aim for Zero. We believe we can achieve zero accidents and incidents. We believe we must achieve it, and we believe you are the answer to helping us achieve this, not one day, but every day, task by task. At its heart, Aim for Zero is designed to empower, to inform, and to connect. It is about giving each employee the target and support to achieve zero. It empowers employees to do the right thing by voicing their concerns, by making observations through additional channels of communication. Aim for Zero makes a renewed and bold commitment that employees who use the Stop Work Authority will be encouraged and supported, and not in any way marginalized, ever. Aim for Zero is designed to connect employees from across the globe to help share best practices and lessons learned on the job. Aim for Zero is not another zero program. It is and must continue to be part of our culture and our way of being and working. It represents our commitment to coworkers and to ourselves and our families. The AIM in AIM for Zero stands for Apache Improvement Methods. The Z in Zero stands for zero accidents, zero injuries, zero near misses, zero preventable occurrences, and zero fatalities. The E reinforces the fact that each of us are empowered and expected to do the right thing even when no one is watching. R alerts us to the importance of being responsible for ourselves and others, especially when health, safety, security, and environment are concerned. O represents our continuous commitment to operational excellence, which is the result of linking our values and behaviors to the way we do our business every day. This work session will introduce greater definition around AIM for Zero, as well as each of the letters, and provide clear actions that are expected of each of us. Most of all, you know that you have the absolute commitment and supportive leadership across Apache when it comes to being safe and environmentally responsible. What will ultimately determine the success of AIM for Zero is you, the individual Apache employee, through your observations, sharing, use of stop work authority, and by doing things the safe and environmentally responsible way each and every time. You are the ones at the point of attack. You are the front lines performing at exceptionally high levels. You are the ones who know that what is required to be even more successful and more safe and environmentally responsible. And that's what this is about, empowering you to ensure a safer and environmentally responsible Apache for you and everyone who works around you.
So you know the goal, but what do you really believe? Is zero even achievable? Take 30 seconds to ask yourself the question, because what you believe will be foundational in our ability to achieve it. Apache's answer is that zero is absolutely achievable. And AIM for Zero is the platform to empower you to be safe, give you a greater voice to be heard, and move us closer, task by task, day by day, to our ultimate goal of zero. You are on the front lines. You know what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. No one can tell you how to do your job safely. We can only support you in your decisions in being and working safe. That is the heart of AIM for Zero, empowering you to be safe and giving you a greater voice to be heard. Our training on the job and ongoing education has prepared us for the tasks we have at hand. Remember that our minds and bodies must be in sync. Each protects the other. It may be an old principle, but it's true in what we do every day. It's up to each of us to make sure that no matter how routine the task, no matter how basic, that our minds are focused and our bodies complete the action safely. Let's start with the Z. Z stands for zero accidents, zero injuries, zero near misses, zero preventable occurrences, and zero fatalities. This is fundamental to AIM for Zero and core to our belief that we can attain the safest and most environmentally responsible workplace where zero accidents and incidents is not only possible, but expected. To hit the mark consistently and achieve zero accidents, all Apaches must believe that we can accomplish each and every task safely with environmental responsibility. And by accomplishing each task safely with environmental responsibility, one by one, no matter how routine, we can achieve our goal. So what does this really mean? What can you do to ensure an environment with zero incidents and zero accidents?
I will use the stop work authority that has been entrusted to me when I believe it is required.
I will communicate, whether in person or electronically, to alert others to potential hazards.
I will act in accordance with organizational values and policies, even when challenged by others.
Please take a few minutes and discuss the following questions within your group. The leader at your group will take notes of these conversations in the facilitator guide provided. It's important to be open and honest. Please pause this recording now for the discussion of the 3 questions on the screen. As we move on, the key takeaways of the Z are: our goal is zero incidents, zero preventable occurrences, and zero fatalities. Zero is achievable in Apache. And zero is about having the right focus every time, no matter how routine the task may be. E reinforces the fact that each of us are empowered and expected to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Aim for Zero provides the empowerment and tools we as employees need to ensure that our workplace, no matter where it is around the globe, is a model of safety and environmental responsibility. E reminds us that we can stay true to the Apache way without fear of repercussion or reprimand. To hit the mark consistently, we must each take ownership of our work and ensure its safe and environmentally responsible completion. So what does this mean at Apache? And what are some things that we can each do to reinforce our individual empowerment?
I will do the right thing no matter the situation, whether there is a supervisor present or not.
I will identify the need for action and take initiative without prompting.
I will demonstrate my pride in my work by signing my name on every task I complete.
Please take a few minutes and discuss the following questions within your group. The leader at your group will again take notes on the conversations. Your input is critical. Please pause this recording now for the discussion of the 3 questions on the screen. The following is a recap of what we mean by empowered employees and contractors. Each of us are empowered and expected to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. The Apache way means staying true to the safe and environmentally responsible way of doing things without fear of repercussions. Each person has the ability to affect performance and company success. Every individual has the ability and the responsibility to create what Apache is and what it will become. R alerts us to the importance of being responsible for ourselves and others, especially where health, safety, security, and environment are concerned. Many of the hazards, incidents, and accidents we experience are due to nothing more than a lapse in focus. By taking responsibility to communicate any possible hazard and maintain focus on every task, every situation, and every piece of equipment, we will do more than just aim for zero. We will consistently achieve it. To hit the mark consistently, we must each actively participate in the process of identifying and reducing risks for our work group and ourselves, reporting potential hazards, and keeping the lines of communication open. Here are some of the ways that we can ensure that we are responsible to those around us as well as ourselves.
I will respect the opinions of my coworkers and contractors as it relates to safety, even if they are different than my own.
I will voice my concern to any employee, supervisor, or contractor if I believe safety is in any way being compromised.
I will work with my peers to make sure that our work product meets, if not exceeds, environmental laws, regulations, and permit conditions.
Please take a few minutes to discuss the following questions within your group. Please pause this recording now for the discussion of the 3 questions on the screen. A recap of what we mean by responsibility for yourself and others. All Apache employees are responsible for health, safety, security, and environmental concern. Each of us must remain focused on the task at hand to ensure we do not have a lapse in judgment. Each of us must communicate any possible safety, security, or environmental hazard. We all have a responsibility to raise our voices when any individual or the environment is at risk. O represents our continuous commitment to operational excellence, which is the result of linking our values and behaviors to the way we do our business every day. That way of doing business involves putting safety, compliance, and production on balanced footing. To hit the mark consistently, we will never promise what we cannot deliver, and we will courageously model the Apache way, knowing that both individually and collectively, we can prioritize safety with production and compliance, and do so without fear of repercussion. So how can we each make a difference with operational excellence?
I will never remove safety from any production decision I make.
I will consider the environmental impact with the work for which I am responsible.
I will balance each area of operational excellence, never making decisions without considering the impact on another area.
Please take a few minutes and discuss the following questions within your group. Please pause this recording now for the discussion of the 3 questions on the screen. A recap of what we mean by operational excellence. Operational excellence is the result of our values being in sync with the way we do our business every day. It entails putting safety, compliance, and production on balanced footing within all sectors of our business. It means embracing the and, ensuring that production and safety and environmental responsibility are inextricably linked. Now that we've discussed in detail the Z, the E, the R, and the O, let's review how Aim for Zero really works. We'll start with a brief message from John Williams, Director, HSSE. John will go into greater detail about the specifics of Aim for Zero.
So you have heard from Apache's CEO on why this is important, from John Graham on the overview of what is expected, and from Apaches across the world on the specifics of Aim for Zero. So the final piece of this is understanding how it works and what you are required to do in the field or wherever you work. With Aim for Zero, there are a number of different pathways for raising recommendations and sharing ideas or lessons learned. The preferred pathway is to use an online submittal tool on the Apache homepage. There is an Aim for Zero form that can be filled out electronically and submitted. It is purposely designed to be easy to use. A second way is that same form can be filled out in hard copy. Those are available throughout Apache workplaces. And the third way is to submit it verbally. We have an AIM Center in the corporate office. It is open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. What is most important here is that the information is shared, regardless of how it is submitted. Sharing information and ideas is the foundation of Aim for Zero. But a critical component of Aim for Zero and a safe workplace is the expectation and responsibility for each of us to stop work when we believe it is unsafe or environmentally questionable. Please follow the established guidelines and know that you will be supported in your decisions. Carry your stop work card and review it. Remind yourself what is required of you as an Apache. It is sometimes uncomfortable to stop a coworker or a friend from doing something. But if it is unsafe or environmentally irresponsible, you have an absolute responsibility to stop them. We will always protect your right and defend your judgment when it comes to stopping any unsafe or environmentally irresponsible action. So whether you're a young person just getting into this company, just getting into this industry, if you see something that doesn't look right, raise your hand, ask a question, challenge the status quo. Very often, new eyes produce new ideas that are very beneficial. For that Apache veteran that has been doing work at the field for decades, this is your opportunity to leave a legacy. You understand what the hazards are in your work and how to control those hazards. This is your opportunity to pass that knowledge on to people just entering the workforce. And the power that Aim for Zero provides you is you can not only reach the people you work with immediately, you can reach people across the region, across the entire company, and other regions. A fellow that I respect had a saying for this kind of situation. And that saying was that what got us here is going to keep us here. And I think that's true for this, and it's true for Apache. The kind of empowerment, personal responsibility, and high quality and caliber of workers at Apache is both what got us here and what's going to keep us here. So remember, the goal is zero. It is achievable. Let's work together to make that happen. Thank you.
Let's review. There are 3 methods for submitting observations and comments through Aim for Zero. The first is by the online form located on the Apache intranet. The second is by a hard copy form that will be conveniently located at bases across each of our regions. And finally, the third way is over the phone through our AIM Center, which will be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't matter which method you choose. What matters is that you are sharing information. The following list describes the core components that make up Aim for Zero: sharing your ideas, observations, or suggestions, understanding and utilizing stop work authority, hazard observations, resolution of Aim for Zero inputs, closure of all Aim for Zero inputs, Aim for Zero meetings. Aim for Zero is about communication, understanding, and closure. The company expects each of us to communicate. Therefore, it's a fair expectation for the company to communicate back with resolution and closure with each of us where it is warranted. Everything about this is meant to be easy. As you can see, the Aim for Zero forms are designed in a simple, straightforward, and easy-to-use format. The whole purpose of this form is to share information, and it prompts you each step along the way in filling in the blanks. The more we are aware and know the risks, the more prepared we are to work safely and to achieve our ultimate outcome of zero. Now that we've gone through Aim for Zero, and now that we know how it works, here's a final word about Aim for Zero from John Christmann.
Thank you for putting in the effort to understand Aim for Zero and what we expect from each of you. We all have a responsibility. At Apache, that responsibility is heightened because of our commitment to you, our workforce. We have a responsibility not to simply work and produce, but to work safely and environmentally responsibly. We must all work to embrace the "and" in production and safety and the environment in each of the areas that define our performance. It is what sets us apart as a company and a leader in our industry. Our commitment to zero is absolute. It is easy to understand why we are so driven to achieve it. Take the time to really consider if zero is not your number, then what is your number? When we remind ourselves that zero affects people, you, the person sitting next to you, and your families, it makes this even more personal. Thank you for rethinking even the most basic tasks to ensure that you complete them safely. Thank you for understanding that you are the key to Apache being safer and more environmentally responsible. Thank you for believing that we can not only aim for zero, but achieve zero. You have my personal commitment that everyone at all levels of the company will join you in Aim for Zero. Aim for Zero will continually evolve. All employees at every level across the company will work to ensure that the expectations are understood and that there are no impediments to stopping unsafe and environmentally irresponsible work, real or perceived. We are ready and willing to listen to your ideas about Aim for Zero and the safety and environmental integrity of our operations. Thank you for being safe in all that you do, and most importantly, thank you for aiming for zero.
Before we close out today, we want to pose the question to each and every one of you in this room. Why do you work safe? And who do you work safely for? It could be for your family, for yourself, or for some other reason entirely. Whatever the case may be for you, we would like to capture your reasons for why you work safely. This is called a personal safety plan. Simply put, a personal safety plan is a card that contains very personal reasons why you work safe. It also contains a helpful visual to continually remind you that your safety not only affects you, but many of those around you. Please take a few minutes to read the instructions and fill out your own personal safety plan. The leader of the group today will collect these at the end of the exercise. We will then take them and laminate them so that you can carry them with you as a constant reminder of why you work the way you work, each day, task by task. So as you begin to fill out the large sheet in front of you with the instructions on how to create your own personal safety plan, please pause this video.
Trent Gary. I work for Apache Corporation. I'm a pumper too, and I've been here for 3 years. My kids and my wife motivate me to work safe. I think about them constantly.
He works hard and cares about what he does.
With Apache, I am very comfortable with the way we do business. I've never felt, that I wasn't gonna come home to my family.
I hear about all sorts of things, good and bad, in the safety part of his job because he cares so much. I think he's been trained well, partly because he wants to be safe, and so he asks questions and seeks out some of the stuff that he says most people learn over time with experiences. He's never been turned down that opportunity to learn, to make sure that he knows what he's doing to be safe.
Where I used to work, she was always worried about me going to work. We always, always came home and I had complaints about what I was doing and how we were doing it. And I have other family that works in the oil field, and I would complain to them, and she just didn't want me to do it at all anymore.
One of the reasons he wanted to come to Apache was for the safety factor, knowing that they cared enough about him as a person and as a dad and a husband to make sure that he had the best chance to come home.
I'd love to thank my coworkers for making sure that I go home safely and making sure that everyone around us goes home safely. They're just as much family to me as my family.
It's not just our family, that it's the guys he's friends with, it's their kids, and he wants to make Apache proud.
To work for, to me, such a family-oriented company is a blessing.
Knowing that he knows what he's supposed to be doing definitely helps me know that he's going to be okay.
I choose to work for Apache because I feel safe.
While creating the personalized safety plans, much of our focus naturally shifts to other people in our lives. We spend time worrying about everyone around us. It's time we focus on ourselves too. So ask yourself, if 0 isn't your number, then what is? When we pick any number other than 0, we are impacting someone around us. Look around. I think you'll agree that 0 must be our number. If we can all agree that 0 is our number, then we must be prepared, know our target, and take action. Get ready, aim, speak out. Speaking out is critical. Today you will each be receiving a commitment card for Aim for 0. On the front is an acknowledgement, signed by you, that you understand the elements of Aim for 0 and that you will commit yourselves to successfully achieving 0 in your work. On the other side is a stop work authority license, empowering you to speak out and stop work whenever you feel it is unsafe.
My name's Marty Phipps. I've been at Apache a little over 5 years. This is the first company I've ever worked for who actually had a personal touch, that actually acknowledged you as a vital part of the operation. You weren't just a dime a dozen employee where you could be replaced overnight. We're like a family in the field. We look out for one another.
My name is Amy Phipps and my husband is Marty Phipps, and he works for Apache as an instrument tech.
Every day he says that he'd rather work at Apache than any other company.
They really look at doing things with the family more than any other company that he's really worked for.
I don't think she's so much worried now about me working at Apache, just because she knows that the safety standards, the bar has been raised as far as my employment from the past.
Before he performs operations and all the work that he has to put in, he has to do all these safety measures to get there.
We follow a lot of the company protocols. There's a lot of policies in place that we adhere to. Number one, there's accountability. They make sure that everyone is absolutely sure of what they're doing before they get in the field.
I know that he's doing it properly because he's very safety oriented to himself.
The job safety analysis, we have to fill it out before we start a job, and it puts fresh in your mind the different tasks and the different steps to that job to perform it safely. When I think of 0 in Apache terms, I take it into a more personal perspective. I believe that it's not just a zero in a whole, I believe it's zero as an individual, because that's where it starts.
He brings safety rules home and teaches the kids.
I'm usually excited to get home and share it with the family, you know, such as first aid or CPR, some of those things. And the kids are usually pretty excited about getting it too, because I try to make it fun for them and interesting.
He's very safe at home. We're not allowed to do anything new until we learn about it and we make sure that we know what we're doing and how to handle it.
What he learns at work, he brings home and teaches our children that they could have one day and to keep themselves safe.
There's people that set examples in our field of industry. And I believe that Apache has raised the bar on a lot of things.
It gives me comfort knowing that he's going to be home every night. And he's the love of my life, and I'm glad that he's here.
It makes me work a lot harder to be safe throughout the day, because I look forward to getting home and seeing those little smiles and feeling those hugs.
I love my dad.
I love my dad.
I love my dad. Super. I love my dad more than any other person in the world.
Successfully achieving zero will take a concerted effort of thousands of Apaches across the globe. Our company is committed to achieving this ambitious goal, and we will stand by you in your efforts to achieve a zero-incident work environment. It's not just about doing what is safe. It's doing what is right for each other, for ourselves, and for our company. We will achieve zero together. Thank you again for your participation today and for your commitment to aim for zero.